Hi, my name is Hannah.
Hey, my name's Chris.
This is Sir Lancelot. We're really happy that you're with us today. We're going to be doing everything abs core work. Core work is a whole lot more than just abdominal muscles. So let us take you through a few of our favorite Pilates exercises mixed with some fun fitness stuff. So let's get started.
Yos.
We have lying down onto our back. So we're going to start right away with some bridging, but this time the bridging is going to get very much more interesting. So let's have our feet maybe a little bit more narrow. We have maybe a fist between our knees and our ankles, so not quite hip distance apart. I'd like you to start lifting and lowering your hips, this time like a board. Lifting up in a board and lowering down in a board. Keeping that long line in the spine, and notice how you have to engage your center just a little bit different. Both are correct, articulating and leaving in that board, that long line. All right, now I'd like you to lift your hips up to your bridge. It doesn't have to be your maximum bridge because we don't need to be working for like a big rib extension. We keep it in a long line right there. Keep your hips on the same level, and let's go for some slow marching. Lifting one leg up to the bridge, or one leg up to tabletop, and then the other leg up to tabletop while in your bridge. Great. And what we're really doing, maybe you'll notice that transition gets a little tricky, and that's the thing that I'm really interested in. Transition from one side to the other is as still or as silent as possible, and I mean that the hips stay on the same level from up to down and from right to left. Great. We're going to finish off with one more time each side. And then you'll bring your hips down to the floor, hug your knees into your chest for a moment. Bring your feet back down to the floor in the same position and lift your hips again into the bridge. Now we're going to start to get a little bit more interesting. Can you bring your, let's say your right foot, the sole of the foot, towards your thigh? Maybe the inside of your thigh. Excellent. Now, your hips staying on the same level, no rotation in the hips yet. Bring your knee to the sky and knee open to the side. Knee to the sky and open to the side. We're going to do 4 more just like that. So that should be way more interesting. I see everyone nodding in agreement. An internal nod. Good, that should be about number 4. Then bring your foot down to the floor. Bring your hips down for a moment. Take a breath. And then we do it again. We lift your hips up. And you'll go to the other side. Sole of the foot onto that thigh. Hips staying still. Knee to the sky. Knee open to the side. So when we're talking about core, we're not just talking about abs. We are talking about your hips, your glutes, your back muscles, your side stomach muscles. Everything that's surrounding that center is exciting for us. There should be about 3 or 4 to go, depending on the speed that you're doing. All right. After you finish with your last one, I'd like you to bring your foot down to the floor, hips down to the floor again, taking a big breath. Hips back up to where you were. Now this one gets a little bit more tricky. I'd like you to explore it, and you decide the range of motion that you want. Back to the first leg. Now, I'd like your knee to be facing the side. Okay. Now I'd like the knee, that structure, to stay the same, but you're rotating your hips. So you're opening your hip that the knee wants to go down towards the floor and then back to the side. towards the floor and back to the side. And you're really going to be working this then through the center, through that hip area. Finding a rotation deep down in there. There should be about 3 or 4 to go. We'll stick with 8s today. 8's a good number. When you finish your last one, place your foot back onto the floor. Again, no rush. Good, and take a moment of pause, relax. And then the pause is done. Lifting your hips, and we go to the other side and explore this one. Remember, your range of motion can be smaller than what Christian is doing. Shoulders are still staying anchored on the ground. You're working the center of the body. I want you to keep on going until you have your 8. And then when you're done, foot down to the floor. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Well done. I'd like you to leave both legs up to the tabletop position and arms up to the sky. Now this one's a little bit tricky for our brains. We're going to go opposite arm and leg moving. The other body parts have no movement. So what I mean, sink your left leg towards the floor and raise your right arm over your head. Then bring everything back to the beginning position, and we do the opposite side. Left or right leg, just do the opposite and come back to the center. Excellent. Take your time to make that transition very clean. So I want the body parts that are not supposed to be moving exactly still. It's a good brain work. It's a good core work. Finish this one, and then we're changing it. I would like the same side to be moving. So right arm up, right leg down, and comes back in. And left arm and left leg moving. Good. How is the breath working with you? Let's just finish up 1 or 2 more to go so that you're ending up even, symmetrical. And when you're done, then I'd like you to stretch your legs out long onto the floor. Arms again up above the head, and we'll get up into our roll up, into the spine stretch forward, just like we were doing before. Arms up. Breathe with it, integrate everything together. Spine stretch forward, take that beautiful length through the back, all the way down to the floor. And then one more time up. Well done. This time we're going to bring our hands behind us, and the fingertips are going to look towards either down towards your hips or maybe slightly out to the side. You get to decide what's going to work best for your hands or your wrists. Your feet are standing on the floor. The first thing we're going to do is test this one out by lifting and lowering your hips. Then we'll decide how we go from there. You lift to your height. Maybe you're feeling a stretch also through the shoulders, and then lower your hips so that they almost touch down to the ground. Okay, we're going to do that a few different times. Again, you might need to adjust your arms a little bit front, a little bit back. I want it comfortable. Good. We'll do one more before we start building this next one. Bring your hips down to the floor so that you're seated there. We're going to do the seated version first. Opposite arm and leg touch. So you're going to bring your opposite arm towards your foot, your ankle, or your knee, whatever is working for your body. And then keep on switching a few times. So this is a wonderful version by keeping your hips down on the ground. You're still getting a lot of benefit from there.
And then we do 2 arms and 2 legs.
That's a little bit later.
Okay. Sorry, I got creative.
You were just reading my mind, Chris.
It's head and shoulders, knees and toes.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes. That's right.
Ankles, elbows, feet and seat.
I taught you well. Actually, my nephews taught you well. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is try to raise your hips. They do not need to be at ultimate maximum. They just need to be off of the ground for this to get a little bit harder. Okay. Try it out. Opposite arm and leg. It's a good try. Take a deep breath. Go back in. If we fall over, it's okay. Let's try about 4 more times. Good.
And now 2 arms and 2 legs.
Yeah, good luck with that, Chris. But we could, if we wanted to have fun, bring your hips down. And sort of like what Chris was doing before, is you're balancing then on your sits bones, your popo is right there, and we try to reach your legs and arms up and then touch them back down. So it's almost like going up to the teaser, reaching up.
Look how graceful I'm doing that.
Oh, I'm sure that everyone is going to be rewatching this for 1,000 years to come when they look at that.
I'm going to get famous with this one. I've already 1 million clicks.
Okay. 3 more. 2. And last one. Excellent. Lie all the way back down onto your back, please. All right, we are working through a scissor, and then we're going to make it a more exciting scissor. So can we lift your chest and your arms and reach to one leg that's up towards the sky? Wonderful. Now I'd like you to change to the other leg. Perfect. And change. And change. So you're just going to change back and forth a few times right here. So this is our normal scissor or hamstring pull. You could either add those 2 little pulses or not. Doesn't really matter at this point. We're going to make it more exciting here in a minute. Let's do 4 more. Good. And then lie back down for a moment. Release your neck and your jaw muscles. Good. Now we're going to bring this a little bit to the side of the body. So what I'd like is, Chris is actually going to extend his right arm out towards the side and roll over to his right side a little bit. Good. And he's going to try to lengthen his left arm and reach up so that he's just a little bit off of the floor right there. And we're going to do a scissor like this. Reaching to one foot, then reach for the other. So you're trying to reach that opposite hand to the bottom leg. Excellent. I think that's way more exciting.
Look, Mom, no hands.
Don't worry, we're going to always keep the hands on here. And 3, and 2, and 1. Good, and bring it down. Good, roll to the other side. Chris can also roll to the other side. Okay, Chris has a fancy transition, which he's going to have to go back on the other one in a second. All right, so you're lying down. We're almost down. Your bottom arm has some strength in there. Your legs are lightly lifted, and scissors here.
Is your arm also moving?
Yeah, you can move your arm. But remember, the further back you go, you're actually helping with that balance with the arm. So your decision there. Oh, fancy decision, Chris. I will take it. Opposite, reach it up. And we have 4 to go. Good. Excellent. All right. So this is the perfect time to start some fancy frog. Support your bottom. Yeah. Support
Are we
your
switching
head.
or staying on the same
You
side?
could stay on that side, that because you changed already. So your forearm down to the floor. Now we do have a lot of forearm exercises coming up. So if this is not right to you, you could just be lying on the side of your body and that will also be working fine. We start by opening your knee and closing your knee. Okay, now let's just look at some of these details. Your ribs are lifting from the floor, so we're not going to sink down. Chris, can you show a sink where you're sort of collapsing in the shoulder? That's not the attention we need. We want to be lifting, rising out of the floor.
We want to rise and shine.
Rise and shine. Your knee is opening, closing. Excellent. Choose the head position that works for you. That might be looking directly front or down to the floor. Now, let's add a little bit where you are opening your knee and at the same time, you are lifting your hips. Lift up and back down. Good. 2. We named this Fancy Frog, didn't we?
There's so many different versions of this one. There's also the salute frog.
Oh, yes, saluting.
There's the sexy frog.
I thought that was the sexy frog.
So many different ones.
Okay, well, I have more to go with the sexy frog. This should be about number 8. So we're going to lift one last version here. Lift up your hips. Perfect. Raise your top arm up towards the sky. Now I'd like you to stretch your top leg out long and then pull the knee in towards your chest and back out long. Knee into the chest and back out long. Okay, we're going to do 8 of those. This is about number 3. Keep the breath going. 6. And last one, 8. Excellent. All right, let's go over to the other side and do this whole sequence. Shake out those shoulders on your way over. Good. Now supporting yourself, pressing the forearm down, lifting the ribs, opening your knee and closing your knee. Since we've done this exercise so many times, we really are paying attention that the hips are stacked right on top of each other. We have about 2 more. Good. Lifting your hips up. So feel how that bottom, so the bottom part of your hip, the side of your hip, the waist, all of that's helping you get up and down. Of course, also your shoulder being stable. All right, we are ready to go by lifting your hips. Raise the top arm. Lengthen the leg. Now it's parallel. Bring it in and out. Great. 5. And 8. Well done. I'd like you to sit and stretch right there by taking one ankle on top of your thigh. Good, and you can pull your thigh in a little bit closer if that feels better for your hips or more of a stretch, or make that position bigger.
The name of the exercise is Hips Don't Lie.
The hips don't lie. Oh, you just wait. We're taking a good look at those hips. Good, and go back to the first side, please. Or excuse me, the other side of your stretch.
That's it for today. I hope you had fun with our exercise. If you would like to join our live classes, online classes, you find all the information in the description. If you want to see more videos, go over there. Don't forget to subscribe over there, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.